Yo guys, it's your boy Mike. Today we're talking about Kirlian photography. And Kirlian photography is supposedly a technique that can use to actually view the glowing electromagnetic discharge or like a electromagnetic field of any substance that's placed inside the photographic plate inside it. And if you put in like a high voltage, high frequency ultrafield, you can supposedly see the electromagnetic field or the aura of the supposed set substance placed inside the photographic plate. So you know in the conspiracy space, a lot of people say that you can actually see aura. This is also like a proof for aura or electromagnetic field around an organism. You can actually see it, but the mainstream explanation is like completely disregarded and say it's like it's just a corona discharge just because it's placed in high voltage, high frequency electric field. So there's a lot of speculations about it. I'll just read you the basic what Krilian photography is. Krilian photography is a technique that captures a glowing electrical discharge surrounding an object when it placed in a high voltage, high frequency electric field. Processor relies on a phenomenon called coronal discharge when high voltage electric current is momentarily applied to an object placed on photography plate. The surrounding molecules began to ionize, emitting photons, creating visible glow. So that's mainstream explanation for it, and they completely consider uh, the aura thing. Like you can actually see the aura visual proof of the electromagnetic field, the organism's solar aura. They completely regard us as pseudoscience. We'll get to the phantom experiment later. Like you can actually where is it now? See anything that's placed inside ultraviolet field, you can actually see. It's super crazy if you think about it. And it's placed inside a high voltage, high electric field. Like you can see ultramagnetic field supposed to anything. And the most infamous thing is the phantom leaf experiment. We'll get to that later. Like this is what's supposedly what it does. A lot of people claim it says so, or like the aura of an organism. Let's just get into it.
In 1939, Russian scientist Semyon Kirlian accidentally discovered that if an object on a photographic plate is subjected to a strong enough electrical charge, an image is created on the plate. By photographing the coronal discharge that occurs between an electrically grounded object and the electrode generating the field, the sparks captured on film show multicolored, multi-frequency energy waves ranging from below infrared to above ultraviolet. These images have since become known as Kirlian photography or biofield electrography. Kirlian photography has now been studied and tested extensively in many reputable laboratories around the world and has shown consistent color, shape, and frequency correlations with various emotional and physical states. For example, UCLA Neuropsychiatric Institute's Dr. Thelma Moss has recorded consistent patterns correlating fingertip coronas with specific emotions. Healthy, happy, relaxed subjects regularly exhibit quarter-inch wide blue
Yeah, but mainstream science considers this as pseudoscience. This is kind of crazy.
and white coronas, while stressed, anxious, or nervous subjects consistently exhibit blotchy red coronas. In another study, she found that when photographed together, close friends generate brighter and more convergent coronas than strangers. Being photographed with strict authority figures produces smaller coronas, while being photographed with unassuming, unintimidating people produces larger coronas. When two people place their fingers on the same film, both images always come out clearly, but if they look into each other's eyes while the photo is taken, one of the fingerprints is blanked out and disappears. Dr. Moss's strange findings sparked interest at the U.S. Heuristic Institute, where they performed their own Kirlian biofield experiments with intimate couples. When partners were instructed to place their fingers on the film and focus unpleasant, unloving thoughts towards one another, their coronal patterns did not merge at all. When the couples focused pleasant, loving thoughts towards one another, their patterns began to merge. And when they kissed,
because emotions directly connected, our own aura, electromagnetic field, like because like the heart is the amplifier of this electromagnetic field around our body, like, and this is exactly contradictory to the mainstream science.
each other during the photographs, their coronal boundaries dissolved into one. Some people were even able to withhold their coronas by tensing all the muscles in their bodies. In experiments with Dr. J.L. Hickman,
Emotions amplify the electromagnetic field of the aura around us.
psychic Uri Geller was able to consciously direct the shape of his fingertip coronas, making circles, squares, straight lines, and triangles at will. The International Kirlian Research Association released that. The German magazine Esoterra describes an interpersonal study conducted with Kirlian photography. Two individuals in a psychiatrist's office were asked to put their fingers next to each other and take a picture. They were asked to return once a week for 3 weeks. The Kirlian photos revealed the man to be very attracted to this woman, large, expansive corona in her direction. But her corona discharge indicated that she did not feel an attraction towards him, small, tight corona. The second week
Damn, bummer.
revealed the man to be extremely persistent, and it looked as if she might be more responsive, slightly converging coronas. The third week shows two bright, happy coronas blending, and we are told that they are living happily ever after. Dr. Moss also conducted experiments showing that cancerous tissue is easily distinguished from healthy tissue using Kirlian imaging. In one study, she was able to separate 100 healthy control rats from 100 other rats injected with cancer simply by the dramatic difference in corona emanations. Romanian Dr. Lone Dumitrescu also used Kirlian imaging to detect cancer tissue. He screened 6,000 industrial workers for cancer and found 47 malignant tumors, while conventional doctors found only 41. By analyzing the coronal discharge channels, their geometry, color, and energetics, he was able to detect cancer better than traditional imaging and laboratory tests. Various studies involving plant coronas
And why is Kirlian photography not used in like any cancer research? That's topic for another day. Like,
have gleaned
there's a lot of things mainstream science is hiding. Has anything to do with soul or electromagnetic field aura around us? Like, they don't want to touch it, and they probably like put a label of pseudoscience over it.
information as well. For example, the viability of seeds can be determined by Kirlian images, since fertile seeds show much larger coronal ejections than dead seeds. Healthy seeds have a deep blue aura, and as the root tips sprout, they show up pinkish red, indicating where the most active growth is taking place. Researchers also found that dew forms on plant leaves in exactly the same locations as maximum flare patterns. They found that male plant stamens always come out blue, while the female ovary photographs are always gold. And most impressively, when a leaf is torn in half, then photographed, the outline of the entire leaf is still clearly visible in its discharge pattern. Eric Pepin wrote, "Physical evidence of the energy body exists, and a number of different sources document it. The first of these is Russian engineer Semyon Kirlian, who discovered that living tissue emits electromagnetic force fields that show up on photosensitive paper. Using his photographic technique, a leaf with a portion of it cut out still shows the outline of its missing part. Even though it is not there physically, the photograph shows an outline as if it was. This prompts suggestions that Kirlian..."
Yeah, and there's a lot of speculation regarding this is known as a phantom leaf experiment, or like, and there's a lot of speculation behind this experiment. It says that the mainstream narratives like it is like it's caused due to the double exposure. Like they're making two different. It's like a scan. It's like a trick they actually does to fool people. Like there's an electromagnetic aura field around the leaf. Like they put two separate images of different layers and try to combine them to create a whole image. That's the mainstream narrative explanation, and I don't buy that. I do believe like the phantom leaf experiment is kind of like true, and this is like the mainstream backtrack story they actually gave, damage control story they actually gave. They use like double exposure. Yeah, I don't buy that one so far.
Photography reveals the energy body. Kirlian photographs show energy emanating from the body. A picture of a hand, for example, depicts the fingers illuminated by energy. If two people touch fingertips, the energy appears to fight until both people accept the presence of the other. Another interesting case involves people who have amputated feet and legs. These people frequently report intense pain originating from phantom limbs. When a person places their hand on the area of pain where the missing limb would be and massages it as if there was a hand or limb there, the pain stops. At the point of death,
No way, bro. That's kind of crazy.
the human body inexplicably loses several ounces of weight. Studies have also shown that when photographed with light-sensitive film, for an amount of nanoseconds, less than a second, a large illumination expands from the body and disappears upon death. These examples all point toward the conclusion that a separate body or being composed of energy inhabits the physical human
No wonder they don't actually touch Kirlian photography because it goes against mainstream narrative.
body. The bioelectric fields captured by Kirlian photographs
Anything to do with soul or electromagnetic aura, they don't touch it. They stay a mile away from it.
are postulated by many to be an expression of the aura, representing our chi life force energy. Psychics, mystics, and shamans the world over in traditions including Christian, Chinese, Japanese, Egyptian, and Tibetan have all talked about being able to see a faint multicolored corona or halo around people's physical bodies and heads. This aura emanates from the energy body, which exists within and permeates the physical body. Healthy, positive, and spiritual people are said to have glowing white gold auras, while unhealthy, negative, or immoral people have more subdued, darker color auras. Each person's aura is said to be unique, but constantly changing based on thoughts, mood, disease, environment, and other factors. Experiments with Kirlian photographs and bioelectrography have proved very
Every civilization has come forth, the study of aura and electromagnetic field around the human body, except the more mainstream science. Like, you don't think they conduct any essential research in that? I don't believe the narrative, science is fully transparent and they reveal everything, Just like the cure of cancer, like, they're 100% hiding it.
consistent with ancient definitions of the aura. Michael Talbot wrote, "One mystical phenomenon that appears to involve the ability to see reality's frequency aspects is the aura, or human energy field. The notion that there is a subtle field of energy around the human body, a halo-like envelope of light that exists just beyond normal human perception, can be found in many ancient traditions. In India, sacred writings that date back over 5,000 years refer to this life energy as prana. In China, since the 3rd millennium BC, it has been called qi, and is believed to be the energy that flows through the acupuncture meridian system. Kabbalah, a Jewish mystical philosophy that arose in the 6th century BC, calls this vital principle nephesh, and teaches that an egg-shaped bubble
Chi, prana, aether, like you can call this like many names throughout history.
of iridescence surrounds every human body. In their book Future Science, writer John White and parapsychologist Stanley Krippner list 97 different cultures that refer to the aura with 97 different names. Adrian Cooper wrote, "The aura is also an extremely accurate indicator of spiritual attainment. Highly spiritual evolved people will be instantly recognizable by a vivid, clean, dynamic aura, the most prominent feature of which is an intense bright golden yellow area extending from and around the crown of the head. Sometimes the aura can be so intense it can even be viewed by people not usually possessing the ability of auric vision. It is also this intense golden aura around the head of highly spiritual people that gives rise to the so-called halo, as often, for example, depicted around the head of Jesus or a
The
saint."
halo effect.
Skeptics claim that Kirlian photography is merely capturing variances in pressure, humidity, temperature, voltage, etc., and not some mystical aura. It is true
Yeah,
that
that's the mainstream explanation. They're capturing like ionization, ionized particles around it. Like, I don't believe 100%. I don't believe like an iota of it.
New age fairs and internet sites sell aura cameras, often marketing them as Kirlian cameras. These are indeed misleading and serve no practical purpose beyond that of a mood ring. However, electrophysiological studies have shown that corona emanation of true Kirlian photographs does not relate to temperature, perspiration, galvanic skin response, vasoconstrictions, or dilations. While it may be easy for some to discount 97 traditions around the world and their descriptions of the aura, it is much harder to discount Dr. Moss and Dr. Dumitrescu's amazing work with cancer detection or the Heuristic Institute's results involving couples. Dr. Edward Condrit wrote, "The greatest advance in the utilization of Kirlian photography was made by the efforts of the German Dr. Peter Mandel, who was trained as an acupuncturist. He observed that by treating disease states with acupuncture points, the corresponding deficiencies in the Kirlian photograph would change. After years of research, Dr. Mandel has developed a diagnostic and treatment program based on Kirlian analysis."
Yeah, if this become mainstream, like it could change the medical industry and it could save much more lives, and you can actually, you know, single out cancer cells before it actually become like a problem or a tumor or anything like that. But that's exactly the same reason why they don't make the, they don't do extensive research on this. They won't do like their due diligence on Kirlian photography. That's the same reason, because the cancer industry is one of the most biggest and thriving industries, medical industries ever. Like,
Disease states are caused by energy blockages. The Kirlian photograph helps to determine the overall energy flow of the body and locations of energy blockage, which are manifested in the disease state. Dr. Mandel has
yeah,
categorized
you can single out in a disease. You can single out problems. Like, you can single out like any kind of disease if what they claim, the experimentation, what they claim is actually true.
types of energy patterns on the Kirlian into endocrine, toxic, and degenerative. Endocrine is the pre-disease state. The patient has symptoms, but there is no discernible pathology. The Kirlian can be extremely valuable in locating the area of blockage. The second type of disturbance in the energy pattern is the toxic state. This is when tissue changes develop, such as inflammation, congestion, and blockages of energy flow in the body. The third type is the degenerative type, where the body begins to show destructive tissue changes.
Yeah, this is a phantom leaf. You can see leaf theory energy is what I was talking about.
Floors the strange.
Here is a phantom produced not in our laboratory, but by Mr. Robert Wagner at Cal State Long Beach.
One of the inexplicable phenomena that a number of experimenters reported is the phantom effect. It now has been repeated by
Yeah, now they disregard it's like this. The mainstream conclusion is like this is like a double exposure image. It's actually like a Photoshop double exposure image, but this experiment clearly views, so you can actually see the leaf's outline. And there's like a on the mainstream YouTube, like this also like there's sort of like the mainstream science trying to disprove it, considering it as a double exposure. I don't buy them also, because there's a lot of shills in YouTube. I don't buy them once and for all. I don't buy mainstream science once and for all. Like, I don't buy it at all, bro.
many American investigators as well as investigators around the world. This ivy leaf reveals the typical corona discharge of its species. If a portion of the leaf is removed, a typical picture would appear this way. However, what occurs on occasion is a photograph of the portion that was removed. In this experiment, there is a piece of opaque plastic over the cut portion of the leaf, indicating that this phantom cannot be escaping water vapor or gases from uncut portion of the leaf. The image will even go through a barrier.
Skeptics have claimed that Kirlian auras are nothing more than fancy sparks, until the startling phantom leaf experiment was performed by several independent investigators.
Ready to go?
A generating apparatus produces a controlled alternating current of 40,000 volts.
Can you make a longer spark?
You tell me this is fake and they actually, put a double exposure image on it. They post a double exposure image. Like, I don't buy that explanation once, like, at all, bro.
A still living leaf is cut away and a Kirlian movie recorded.
Yeah.
In this case, with a video image intensifier. The faint electric field can be seen and recorded only in total darkness.
Lights off, okay. Bodice.
One would expect to see just the uncut part of the leaf, and that is usually the case. On rare occasions, however, the leaf seems to remember a ghost of the missing portion. Evidence for the first time that the...
Yeah, this is not pseudoscience. I don't believe it's like a double exposure image, like as they claim, as the mainstream claim. I believe it actually, it actually shows the outline. Like, you can actually see the electromagnetic aura, and there's a reason why, they don't do extensive research on it, because its application is still beneficial to humanity. If something's beneficial to humanity, like, mainstream science doesn't stay away from that. Anything that's beneficial to humanity, they always, supports things that poisons humanity, not support in any regard whatsoever.
physical body is not all there is to life.
So I believe in the phantom leaf experiment. I don't think it's like a double exposure as they claim, mainstream claims. So that's about it. I want to show. You can actually essentially look in detail about the Kirlian photography and make your own conclusion. But I believe it's like, it is real. It's a phantom leaf experiment. It's actually real, and you can have your own conclusions, and you can believe what you actually want to believe. Like, so that's about it. Leave a like and sub, and see you guys in the next vid.